he got safe, just like he's supposed to. He is making sure there's no keyhole, so I can hit that 180 armbar, which is a mistake a lot of like beginners will make. But like once you get hit with it enough times, like you tend to be very weary of leaving this open, which is fine. So I have my grips. I'm gonna go from collar, sleeve, because I'm pulling this up. I'm gonna sneak this in and look to pin. Okay. You can still do that if it's here. So like if I'm pulling, but he's pulling it back, that's fine. I just want to open it just a little bit so I can sneak this in. So here. Okay. Now from here, I'm gonna reach under, grab like a horse collar grip. So I'm just putting my thumb right at the nape of his neck, right there. Okay. Switching from collar to sleeve. Now I'm going to rock back just a little bit and step over. Okay. So depending on what this arm does, like he might try to bring it back down, that's okay. Because now I'm just gonna set up just like a basic triangle. Like from here, I'm gonna flare this foot out, and then I roll back. So here, here. Okay? From here, most times you're not gonna just lock in a triangle right away, so I have to work for it. So right when I get him rolled back, I'll cross my feet. Okay? From here, it is easier to lock in the triangle if I can get this arm over. It's mostly important to do if you have shorter legs too. Like for me, I can still lock everything in here. But let's just pull the arm over. So dragging it across is gonna be difficult, especially if he's like not wanting me to. So I really wanna pop my hips. So my feet are still crossed in my triangle bite. So this one's over. And I like to have this one over the top. So, because if I do this and then he like postures really hard, I might lose it. So I go here. Pop my hips. Right when I drop them, I drag. And then I pull my legs back in. It's not enough to just go, and then he just pulled it back. So I pop my hips, drag it across as I'm dropping my hips, and I'm gonna pull my legs in. Okay? From here, now I can reach up and grab the shin that's over the shoulder, here. Foot goes on the hip, cut my angle, and then from here, I go over my ankle, right into my knee pit. Now I wanna make sure I'm holding like a good grip, just an overhand, like monkey grip there, because if I do all this, he postures at this point, I don't have anything anymore. But if I have my false triangle and he postures, I'm gonna slow him down until I can lock this in. Okay? Once I get that, I wanna make sure I have jiu-jitsu feet, not ballerina feet, because if I'm there, he could hurt my ankle, so jiu-jitsu feet. Scoop in, you can either go arm or leg, cut that angle, and I squeeze. A lot to it, I know. But we'll go through it nice and slow. So from here, pull it out just a little bit, because if he has this really tight, it's gonna be hard to scrape that. Not impossible, but a little bit harder. So I pull it out, and then drive through. Switch my grips, here. So I wanna rock just a little bit, so that way I can kinda get him up on his side. Stomp that bug. Leg flares out, and I roll back. Here. Pop the hips, drop them, hold arm across, pull my legs back in, grab my false triangle, right there on the shin. Foot on the hip or the mat, I go to the hip, cut that angle. So I want my leg across his shoulders. If it's down like this, I can still lock it in, choke's not really there. It might be a slow choke, but it's not quite there. So I want it across his shoulders. Locking it in, jiu-jitsu feet. I could squeeze here, probably get the tap, but angles make strangles. We go deeper. Got lots of sayings. All right, one more time. Boom. Here. Switch my grips. snap. What kind of questions you got?
What do you do in that situation if they start to stack you?
I usually try to sweep. So if I don't have it like fully locked in and he starts stacking hard into me, I'll kind of like grab a shin and then cut my angle and knock him over. And either try to get back on top with like a mounted triangle or like let him start to come back up and lock it in even more.
Yeah, whenever I try that sweep, they just like widen their base and I can't.
Sure.
I just can't get it.
You might have to hit their weak angle. Like you might be trying to sweep into like their strong at their base.
Probably, yeah.
But if you can like take them towards like their weak side, like if their legs are like here, taking them this way, like against their base.
Gotcha.
And with that sweep, you can turn it into an armbar.
You can definitely turn it into an armbar, yeah. Arm bars, omoplatas, all that stuff. Cool.
I was gonna say too that false triangle, or sorry, wrong side triangle helps me a lot to get the arm on the other side. So if I can't get it over and the hip thing doesn't work.
What Sam's talking about. So like if I'm going to, I think I switched arms.
You want to switch?
No, it's okay. So say this arm is really like buried or something, and I just can't dig it out. A lot of times you can lock it in wrong side. Like the choke's not quite the same, and then I can dig this out, pop it, go through all the normal steps. That's just a tip. You don't have to really worry about that yet.
I think it's more so if they're like really fighting.
Right. Yeah. As long as you can lock in the triangle either side, either whether it's right side or wrong side, like you can really settle them down too. Cool.
Sweet.
All right, let's try it. On three.
When you have his hand there, your knees over it like that, could they tap to that and say it was a bicep slice?
No.
It doesn't. I don't think so. No.
There's like no way.
Yeah.
Can you show us what a bicep slice is?
Sure.
So let it in arm tissue. That's great.
Just
So
don't slice his bicep.
Do it.
it doesn't really matter.
Slice it off.
So this is all pinned down, and then I have this leverage, and I'm driving my shin into his bicep, and I'm folding that arm. And then, I have in competition, I've seen them break, and it can like detach too.
Yeah, I think it'll dislocate your elbow eventually too, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure in the elbow.
Yeah.
And then like
coming apart.
depending on how their shins are, like I have really bony shins, like it just cuts right into it. It's nasty.
Feels really good.
Yeah. Wait till you feel it.
Yeah. Can't wait. It's the best.
All right. Any more questions, Jack? All right, on three. 1, 2, 3.